I mean, I got to make you practice. I know I'm not giving a big talk, but I did want to mention one thing I forgot, is while you were mingling here, we don't use the word networking at this event, by the way. It's only friend making. So I also have a challenge for you before I hand it over to our keynotes. So my goal for you and challenge for you this week is to leave Codegarden with a new friend and a list of people that you can't wait to see again. I actually met one of my best friends here last year. He's halfway across the world and completely inconvenient, but I met him over a game of hammers. So you just never know who your next best friend might be. So without further ado, let me turn it over to the people that are really in charge. We have our kilt-wearing. Oh, no, you got to go in order. Sorry. Well, do you want Emma to go first? Okay. Let's bring Emma up because we love her the most. If you don't know, Emma is our Director of Developer Relations, so a lot of you get to work closely with her. All right, now who to choose next? Okay, Filip, our cycling CTO, why don't you join us on stage?
Good morning.
Wow. Last but not least, looking cool over there, just leaning against the wall like a CEO does, our kilt-wearing Kim.
Welcome to Codegarden 2024, the 19th edition of Codegarden. It would have been 20 if we didn't have the COVID year. We have strived to make it a good Codegarden. In order to make it the best Codegarden, we need your engagement. So please engage with each other, with HQers, be inspired, meet friends, make new friends, get ideas, share your thoughts and ideas, and together we can make this the best Codegarden. I will do my bit by leaving the stage shortly and handing it over, this keynote, to Filip, our CTO, talking all things Umbraco from a product standpoint, and Emma, our Director of Developer Relations, talking all things Umbraco from a community and developer relations standpoint. So without further ado, Emma, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Kim. That's me. Thanks. No, you're all going to get so tired. It's a bigger workout than you signed up to today. This is me. I'm Emma Burstow, and I'm the Director of Developer Relations here at Umbraco. And this is me at my last Codegarden. We're enjoying an ice cream and a talk at the same time. And I put this up to remind myself to be real with you before I go into too much spiel, because Codegarden's my happy place, sincerely. Full disclosure, it's been my job to be here for the last 3 years, but if it weren't, this is exactly where I'd want to be right now. My experience at Codegarden is that you never leave the same way you arrive. I always leave feeling really connected, really inspired, and my sincere wish is that you have that experience too. So the Umbraco community is broad and it is vast, and it is way too much for me to sum up in a slide or a bunch of bullet points. The Umbraco community, I'm going to spend the next 15 or 20 minutes telling you a little bit about where we are, what we do, and how you can get involved. But what I love about Codegarden is that for today, absolutely all of you, regardless of where you've come from, what your experience level, or what your niche is as an Umbraco practitioner, you are a member of the Umbraco community. So welcome, congratulations, you've joined, and now it's our job to keep you and to hold you around just long enough so that we get to know you really well. That's our sincere wish. So I took a look at some data, and it turns out that we really are basically everywhere. We haven't hit the Arctic poles yet, but let's say we'll aim for that. We are all over the world. It would be astonishing if you could find a continent other than the Arctic ones, where we don't exist. We are right where you are, and also we're online. Now, throughout this talk, or this section of the keynote, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the places you can find us, and I have put this QR code up here because all of these places have homes, and I'd love for you to meet us in one of those places. So if at any point you're thinking, that sounds super interesting to me, you should be able to find how to find that particular touch point somewhere in those links. So we're everywhere, but specifically, we're at meetups. Now, one of my less exciting and glamorous tasks as the Director of Developer Relation is to look at numbers. But believe me when I tell you, when I looked at these, I was genuinely excited. Because this year, just across 6 months, we have had 67 meetup events, and we've had more than 1,200 attendees. Now, that's compared to just 760 by this time last year. So a massive thank you goes out to meetup organizers. Can I get a whoop from anybody that organizes a meetup? Yes. Okay, and a massive round of applause for them, because that is a good, sizable round of applause. I want you to keep that up. So much time, energy, and love and hope goes into organizing meetups. People put together meetups off their own steam entirely because they're enthusiastic about the community and the project and what we do here, and they bring people in. And for lots of us, it's our first touch point. It really is the lifeblood of the community, because it's where the small ideas grow into big ones. And that happens when we put people in one place to connect. And so we're really excited that we are growing meetups all over the globe. And some of these meetups are even online, so you can attend without leaving your house. Isn't that lovely? Sometimes that's the nice way to do things. Across 2024, we have 7 festivals. That's compared to 4 community festivals last year. That's 7 opportunities for you to do this across an entire day, or perhaps 2, in a country that isn't Denmark, which is wonderful for those of you based in the US. We're going to have a US festival. Can I get a whoop from everyone who's come from the US? Yep. So we'll be seeing you in Chicago, we hope, in October. Have we got any Swedes in the house? Any Swedes? Oh, the noisy Swedes. There's some around here. I'm coming for you later, because we're going to have a Swedish festival this year for the first time since before the pandemic, a Kalasset we're going to have, that's what they call it, and I'm very excited to be there. And you should all be there too. We're going to have the return of the Danish festival in Aarhus. Can I get a whoop from any Danes? Yeah, very good. I'm sure there's more of you, but you're a quiet lot. And we're also going to have another UK festival. We had Spark earlier in the year. We have the Umbraco London later in the year, the London-based festival in the year. We've got the Doogfest. Have we got anyone in from the Netherlands? And if we're very nice to Callum, we should also see an online one later this year. So can we have a whoop if you're Callum? There we go. Go be nice to him. Discord was introduced just a few years ago, and it is astonishing to me how quickly it grows. This is a fantastic space. It's another place that our community contributes. It's where we live. It's where we connect. We are now at more than 2,100 active members. That's not just people dropping in. These are people that are speaking, reacting, and sharing knowledge. Now, the Discord server has a Codegarden conference channel this year, and some of you might have joined even before we got here. So we've been meeting before we're meeting. We also welcome some of our online attendees to the Codegarden conference channel in our Discord server. We love it here. Now, this QR code will take you straight to joining Discord. It won't take you to the link tree. It will take you straight to join Discord, because we want to welcome as many of you as possible, because so many cool things happen there. Great place for advice, for sharing your wins and your woes when it comes to implementation, for sharing fun ideas, for growing events, for getting the word out. But it's also a place where kind of cool, sort of weird stuff happens too. Like if you're really into word games, you might be sharing your score in there. So keep an eye on Discord. It's a great place to learn what's happening. And yeah, just to hang out with other lovely Umbracians. And in terms of code contributors, We are an open source project, and we love code contributions. Now, in years gone by, I would have led with this. This would have been the first thing I wanted to tell you, because this is an astonishing number. Now, 235 distinct people have contributed to just 3 of our repositories in the last year. We have been so delighted with the community engagement around V14. And the best thing is that it is just getting started. There are so many opportunities for learning and collaboration around this. Dare I say it, there's even some low-hanging fruit on this one. So come in, learn how to contribute. And the best part is that we're going to be doing that all together. Sebastian, please stand up and give everybody a wave. This is Sebastian. We call him the head of PR, but that's pull requests. And if you're interested in making a contribution or seeing how contributions are made or drinking coffee with people that make contributions, then please come Friday morning to the hackathon. It's going to be such a cozy hygge time. And yes, join us there. The Umbraco Champions program was something that we launched last year because we identified this very real need for people in the community who want to advocate for us but could really do with a bit of HQ support. So we launched this formal approach to structuring that, and we were delighted that we have managed to support 16 different projects since that launched. 16 different projects where people have come to us and asked for a whole range of things, like we're talking training, we're talking resources for sharing with others, all the way up to expenses. Yes, we can cover those too. And we've been just delighted to back some of these projects because for us, it's incredible to know what you're doing that doesn't even involve us. When we become a touch point, we get to learn what you're up to. We love putting the wind beneath your wings. I wasn't going to say that, but we're going with wind beneath your wings and getting you out there and in front of people. So come, sign up if you've got something you're interested in. Sometimes it's just about connecting you with the right people who can help you. And we are designed to do that, so please do. There's also a ton more. Now, in this section, I'm going to race through some of the things that you all did without us. Like, this is all on you. Brilliant ideas, mad ideas, good ideas, and they're all yours. Now, the best thing about the Umbraco community, in my opinion, is we come in so many different flavors. It doesn't really matter what you're into. If you really like written content, you've probably already hit up Scrift or 24 Days in Umbraco. Can I get a whoop for the Scrift and 24 Days team? Yeah. Because this is astonishing. These are decades-old projects that collate and help people to collaborate and collate so much information from you and your experience with Umbraco. And this has gone on for ever so long. If you don't know you have seen Scrift, or you don't know you've seen 24 Days in Umbraco, it's likely because it's just such a part of your documentation now that you don't even need to question it. Are you into video and podcasts? Yes. Wonderful. We've got those too. We've got candid contributions, and we've got Umbraco, I know how to pronounce it, Umbraco, where you can learn so much about what's going on in the Umbraco community, and you can just listen to Umbracians chat about the nerdy stuff that we all enjoy chatting about together. So both of these are going to be featuring across this week, so you should catch us live. You should, because it's going to be wonderful. But if you don't, there is a backlog of all sorts of content that you can hit up if you like to use your ears and your eyes. Then there's like events, because we don't do enough events. Like this one here, Codegarden. This is a personal favorite. Can I get a whoop for the Codegarden team? We love Codegarden because it is the weirdest thing to try and explain to people that don't do Umbraco. Would you like to spend a weekend in a house full of strangers who also do Umbraco? The answer is yes, believe it or not. I've done it twice. So Codegarden happened because we needed a space where we could all get together and just talk Umbraco, learn, an unconference where we all get to spend time together. We do that. Umbrad is our annual accessibility day run by the Umbraco Accessibility Guild. Can I get a whoop? And then we've got the community day that happened twice last year and may happen this year, may happen next year. If we're nice to Callum, can we get a whoop for the community day? more than 1,000 attendees to that. More than 1,600 attendees to that. And then, people don't like leaving the house, it's true. And then we've got the wild card. Is Owen in the house? Yes, we've got a wave over there. This man was running a gaming night the other night. Now, I'm trash at Rocket League, but I love that this stuff happens. And if you're on the Discord, you get to find out that these things do. So many things that you do. Now, before I move on to whatever slide I've got next, I want to do a quick introduction to some of the people in my department who work directly with the community, and that's the developer relations team, and they are very handily situated in a row at the front. Could you please stand up? Now we have Lucy Brailsford, Sebastian Janssen, Alan Smith, and Lottie Pitcher. Throughout this entire event, they are your people. You don't know, but you actually all belong to one of them, depending on your geography. And they are the friendliest people in an already very friendly crowd, so please, come and see them, come and say hello. I'm also your person where that's involved. If you've got any ideas for community events or community initiatives, or you just have questions, come and find us. The Community Teams Initiative has grown exponentially. It started as a single team 7 years ago, the documentation curators, who went out on a mission to improve Umbraco documentation because they saw a very real need for it. It became 10 distinct groups. Some of the people are here in this picture, and this from the community team's visit last year. And it has grown to a point where it's no longer appropriate just to be like, oh, you know, the community teams. So we have broken it down into 3 different areas now, depending on the mission and the organization structure of each team. We are now community teams, advisory boards, and community guilds. It's such a luxury to be able to say that to you. It's such a luxury because as we have scaled, it has become increasingly difficult to know everyone personally. And the community teams initiatives brings you in-house. So if there's something that you're interested in, this is a really fantastic way to contribute. Now, I'll urge you to scan the QR code here and take a look at the teams that we have that are looking for new members, because we are reopening applications for a good many teams. And I am super excited to announce that we have 2 new ones on the horizon. One dealing with privacy and security, and another looking at community. The Community Advisory Board. So if you've got opinions about how we do things, this is a great place to get stuck in. And this year we welcome the Commerce Advisory Board. Can I get a round of applause for these wonderful people? The Commerce Advisory Board are a group of people who work on our Umbraco Commerce project all together so that we never do anything inside a vacuum. What we aim to do here is do everything with the community and with the users who work with the product every day in mind and involved. We also have the Cloud Advisory Board, our newest team. Oh, round of applause. Now, the great thing about these advisory boards is you don't need to know anybody internally. You don't need to know anybody in HQ to feel heard. What you can do is now seek out some of these lovely people. We'll just remind you who they are. And you can give them all your thoughts too. Sorry, people, that's going to happen now. So the biggest question is where you fit in, right? So some of you will have been around a while. Some of you will be brand new. And at this point in any keynote, what I really like to do is talk about myself. But this year, I'm not going to. So my entrance into the Umbraco community is one that I love to wax lyrical about. You can find me later. But what we did instead was we sent Lottie on the road with a game, which is here today at Codegarden. And we took Lottie and her rather competitive nature on the road to meet some of our newest community members and ask them what brought them into the Umbraco community. What was it that did it for them? Why did they get involved? Why did they stay? And what did they get out of it? And we clipped together some of the best moments, and I want you to take a look now.
We're not breaking the fourth wall. Okay, I'm going to stop breaking the fourth wall. I am.
By the way, that's log, just so you know. Yeah.
You're distracting me.
You are an Umbraco MVP. Congratulations.
So Amelia, you are a developer, back-end developer. You also organise a lot of meetups, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Which community team are you in, Amelia? I am in the sustainability community team.
Last year, when you announced all the MVPs, I'm just like, I want to be an MVP. I have dreamed about this for a long time, and now I'm actually trying to do it. About doing stuff that gave you energy, not like doing all the pull requests I could do if I didn't think it was fun, because I don't think pull requests are that fun. So I just like, this is giving me energy, I think it's fun, so I will focus on that instead.
So how's an Umbraco MVP been for you?
It's been really good. It's given me the opportunity to really find myself doing more. I feel I certainly have a little more confidence in when I go and have something to say.
You know, Umbraco and the Umbraco community have such clever people, such technical, brilliant minds in it. And I was a little bit nervous for how I'd sort of fit into that and be able to, you know, I don't want to come here and not add any value to my team. I'm a team player. But I'm not the only non-technical person in my team, and I think it's good to sort of build teams with people that aren't the same and coming at it from sort of different angles. I think that's how we've managed to get so many plans and so many things actioned. I'm pretty impressed actually. So yeah, it's been really good experience.
And I think it's amazing to meet people, and especially the last 2 meetups where I got people to tell about the solutions they made. It was fun to see how people build stuff. It's also nice to hear about all the amazing packages, but it's nice to see solutions and get inspired.
And the concept of sharing, you're not giving away secrets, because everything that you put out there, you get back from other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much. Can I have a massive round of applause for Amy, Amelia, and Adam? We didn't just go through the alphabet and be like, Amy, Amelia, Adam, you can be the first. We didn't. It does look like that. Okay, so when you registered this morning, some of you will have been given a pin. Some of you will have been given a pin by Carla too. There are 2 kinds of pin floating around. Now, this pin is a signal that you are new to Codegarden, that this is your first Codegarden. And I should warn you that we're sort of fanatical about swag around here, so if you don't have one, please don't ask people for a pin to give you a pin. Because this pin is a symbol that you are completely new, and you are willing to make friends, and you're willing to join in. So it's a call to action partly for you, I'll come back to that, but mostly for those of us who have done Codegarden before. When I came to my first Codegarden, it took me a while to warm up, and then somebody approached me and started chatting to me, and we shared a niche, because basically we will all share a niche. And after that, I could relax a little bit. I could be myself. I could make better decisions about where I wanted to be in the day. I was learning more effectively because I wasn't so stressed out. And that's what I want for you. I would like that for you too. Now, Carla asked the introverts to wave their hand. I'm not going to do that to you all. But what I will say is that if you are freaked out at the notion that you're about to have a deluge of social interactions, the best thing about this pin is you can pop it in your pocket, and you can take it out of your pocket, and you can put it on when you're feeling a bit bolder. But I would urge you to do it at some point, because once you make the friends here that you will have, you will keep those friends. Sorry, I'm getting soppy. You'll keep those friends. So those of you that have the pin, I'd also urge you to look for other people with the pin. This morning, just before I came on stage, somebody came to give me a hug, and it was a friend that I made at my first Codegarden who was also at his first Codegarden. And that was really, really special, because years on, you might find that you're still looking forward to seeing those same people. So I want you to use your pins any way that you choose, but as a signal that you are willing and ready to start making friends. And I don't think that you'll regret it. But I'm not going to send you out into the wild without any advice, okay? So there are some really good, effective ways of enjoying Codegarden. And the first is to be friendly. Now, we have got a code of conduct that walks the walk that we talk. And if you want to check that out, take a look. One of the links in the QR codes will take you there. But we're a friendly community, and we don't just say it because it's a tagline. This is how we operate. What we want you to do is show up, get comfortable, and then we all get to learn from each other. We can only learn if we're feeling really safe, and that's what we aim to promote here. We're open source, and we would ask you to be open too. Open source projects really thrive when they get diverse input. We want to innovate. We're all technologists in some capacity. Bring yourself, show up, and let us know what you're into. You might be sitting here thinking, I'm not the expert, but you're the expert in something. You're the expert in your experience. And we grow by learning more about that. And then finally, bring your whole self. Look around, it is super weird here. We invite you to be super weird. And it's incredibly important because those connections are enriched when we learn the name of your dog or whatever hobby you have, that you're good at Rocket League, maybe. So bring your whole self, and this event will be much enriched by it. It's how we do things here. Now, the last thing I want to say, the very last thing, is that my year, across this last year, I've been to industry events and I've met people who are brand new to Umbraco, newer than anybody in this room who don't know us. And one of the things I found incredibly difficult was explaining who we are and how we do things to complete newcomers. So in the link tree, what you're going to find quite high up is a community newsletter. And this is your invitation to sign up to that newsletter. We have like 200, 300 people from around the world that have signed up. Now, remember when I said we were fanatical about swag? I can tell you now that the first 50 people that show the swag shop your sign up, your confirmation, will get a pair of Umbraco socks. I don't know what I'd do without Umbraco socks. So sign up to our newsletter and go over and claim your free pair of socks, or just sign up to see what we're saying about you, because it's you that make up the Umbraco community. And with that, I'm going to exit the stage for a short while and hand you over to our very capable CTO, Filip.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. It is great to be back. I love Codegarden. I don't know if you know, but Codegarden is my favorite week of the year. Also when it ends, because I will be extremely tired, like most of you. But I am so excited to be here to talk to all of you, to hear your stories, to hear about what you're using Umbraco for, and where you think we should do better, and what you think we should stop doing, and what you really like. So I am really happy to be here. Umbraco is in a really good spot. We are growing. It's been about 4 years since I joined, and since then we've been growing more than 25% every year. And we've actually had uninterrupted growth for more than 10 years in a row. So we're really happy with the trajectory of the product. I look out, of course, for some nice KPIs that I follow very nicely. This is one of the ones I'm very happy with. We see that there's a steady growth in number of new projects, number of projects total in Umbraco. So every hour since the beginning of this year, we've had one extra project using Umbraco all over the world. So we're really happy with this number and really happy to see a growth that continues from a product that's been around for a while. Even more than that, we're really happy to see that Umbraco Cloud takes off. We're seeing that this growth is actually a little bit faster, so more of you are choosing to put your projects into cloud, and we're really happy with that. And of course, the average project value inside of cloud is also growing, and that's not because we're raising the prices, it's actually because you're trusting us with your business-critical websites that needs an SLA, that needs a bigger plan, that needs to be dedicated. All of this stuff leads to us having a graph like this, and we're really happy about this. We're really seeing large organizations embracing cloud, embracing all of the ease that you get out of the box in cloud. Also, as Emma said, we're really happy to see that the community PRs continue to grow as well. In a world where open source projects all over the world has a hard time actually getting active community contributions, we're really happy to see a trend that's still going upwards. So thank you to all of you. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for buying cloud. Thank you for using Umbraco. We are really happy. We're really thankful for everything that you're giving us back. Over the last year, we started calling ourselves a CMS platform. So we used to be just a CMS, and now we start talking about ourselves more as a platform. We're the foundation that you can build on top of, no matter how high your house will be. We are the steady foundation that's below everything that you can build on top of. We're seeing that content management and the need for content management continues to grow. Analysts from Forrester found in their research that more than 60% of enterprises actually expect to spend more on content in the coming years than they did in the previous years. So we're really seeing the demand for what we give continue to grow. And of course, I mean, it's no surprise to anybody that generative AI is bringing more and more content. There'll be a lot more content to manage, and thus, content management will be even more important. So we're really happy with this. And we are seeing that the average Umbraco website is growing as well. So these are the numbers that we have collected over the last year from the anonymous statistics inside of Umbraco. So this is the average Umbraco website out there today. It has more than 1,300 nodes in the tree, more than 60 document types or element types, and more than 11 users on average. So this means that every time you build a hobby site that has 5 nodes and 1 user and 2 document types, there's really some large sites out there. And when we look at the 95th or 99th percentile, like we see projects with hundreds of thousands of pages in there and even more media than that. So we're really excited to see the projects that you're building on top of Umbraco. And we're really happy to see that when you guys are comparing us to some of our main competition, we are scoring really well. So this is a plot from G2, which is an analytics platform where real users actually vote or evaluate the systems that they use day to day and score them on a whole lot of different areas. And we're really happy to see that not only do we have the most reviews, we also have the best reviews among our traditional competitors. So thank you for those of you who filled out this survey. If you haven't done it yet, I'm sure there's a form somewhere here at the conference where you can fill it out. We're really happy to see that. And from the business perspective, also from the same G2 survey, we're really happy to see that the return on investment is shortest on Umbraco and the average go-live time as well. So people are really finding that the value from Umbraco is just so great. So we're really happy to see that. We've been talking about Umbraco as a platform to build on. This is the product strategy. This is where we want to be. This is the play that we're going for. Last year we talked about build how you want to build. This is kind of the guiding principles for when we design new features. We want you to be able to build how you want to build when you're using Umbraco. So we want to get out of your way. We want to give you all the foundational stuff, and then you can build your excellent projects on top of Umbraco. So I thought I would start out with sharing a few examples of what we've been doing in the last year that's really enabling you to build how you want to build. Starting with the CI/CD integration that we launched at Codegarden last year, at least in a beta, and later for everyone. With this, you can bring your own code repository, you can bring your own build pipeline and all of that to Codegarden. And we're happy to see that customers are embracing this. Customers are really getting the best of both worlds. They have all the flexibility that they want, and they still have all the ease of us in cloud, setting everything up, running everything for you, upgrading whenever there are some Umbraco upgrades, all of this stuff. We take care of all the hard stuff, so you can do all the fun stuff. We've also launched Project Insights by popular request. People wanted to know, or you guys wanted to know more about what's actually happening to my cloud project. So you can follow along on how's my app performing, what's the CPU usage like over time. And we've even launched a project history page now where you can see the events that has happened to your project. So when was the last deployment? How did it go? When was the last upgrade? All of this stuff. And putting the two together, you can now actually see the consequences of a deploy to the number of errors or something like that. So really, really cool, and really allowing you to get to build how you want to build, to get that insight into how your project is running. Last year as well, you asked for backups, and earlier this year we launched SQL backups in the cloud as well. So for those of you who likes to have a physical tape with your SQL database every month, I don't know what you do with that if you dig it into your garden or whatever, but now you can get a backpack file right out of cloud and keep that for compliance reasons or whatever. You asked for more regions. We now have 4 regions in cloud. Close to our main markets, and so that no end user should be more than 5 or 6 time zones away from a Umbraco Cloud region. We also added HTTP 3. We didn't talk a lot about this, but this was a natural evolution. This is the evolution of HTTP. Makes all of the projects in cloud just a tiny bit faster and just a tiny bit more secure, and we are happy to be on the forefront of the HTTP as well. Last year, we also announced the dedicated options, and this year we've launched the opportunity for you, or the tooling for you, to actually choose which ones of your environment should be on the dedicated plan and which should just be on the shared plans like the other ones. And then a feature that I'm really excited on, that's kind of the next chapter of this, is around flexible environments. We want you to be able to break out of that linear flow that is between our environments in cloud. Sometimes you want a QA environment, or sometimes you're working on a feature that lives longer. And we think we have a great idea for how we want to make this. And to give you a little bit of a demo of that, please welcome to the stage my colleague Dan. Good job. Go for it. You press it.
Hi, everyone. So I'm super excited to give you a preview of flexible environments, which will be coming to Umbraco Cloud pretty soon. So Umbraco Cloud projects today typically have 3 environments, or a fix of 3 environments in a particular fixed order. But with flexible environments, you will be able to add environments depending on how your project or workflow works. So here we can see we're adding a feature environment to our project. And once we're happy with that configuration, we can click the Save button. We can accept some additional costs. And Umbraco Cloud will begin to make changes to your project to match your specified configuration. So we can monitor the activity, and then once the activity is complete, we can then go back to the project overview page, and we can see the new project setup. Additionally, you can also rename each of your environments, including the live environment. So here we're renaming the feature environment to testing. We click the Save button, and voila, everything's changed to match your workflow. Then, using the Umbraco Cloud portal, we can deploy changes from our testing environment up to development, and when we monitor this operation, we can see it's finished, and then everything works as per usual. So with flexible environments, it gives you more flexibility, gives you more options to do and change your Umbraco project to meet your project requirements and how you wish. So if you'd like to chat with us about Umbraco Cloud or flexible environments, just come and visit us at the Cloud Corner over there. Thanks for listening.
Good job. Awesome. I think this has been a missing piece for a while, and we're really happy to actually have started the work on this. We expect to have a beta of this available in Q3. And we, like we do with major features, we are opening up for private testing pretty soon. So go talk to Dan, go talk to Kek over there in the Cloud Corner, and sign up if you want to be part of the private testing of this. Another thing that has been coming closer and closer to my heart is around sustainability. Last year, we launched, or I showed a UX prototype of what we wanted to have in the cloud for giving you information about what's actually happening to your cloud project, how are you doing compared to other projects, etc. When it comes to sustainability and the way we think about open source in general, it really comes down to transparency. Like we want to be, it's a hard place, it's hard, there's no formal rules for how you calculate stuff, but what we can do is be completely transparent about how we actually do this. I think when you're transparent, people can only accuse you for being wrong, they can't really accuse you of greenwashing because you're telling them exactly what you're doing. And I thought we would actually take a look at this as well. So for our next quick demo, give it up for Nicolas.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Nicolas, and I'm excited to show you a sneak peek of the sustainability dashboard in the Umbraco Cloud portal. As you can see, we're in the Umbraco Cloud portal. We navigate through the organization view, and we present to you the sustainability dashboard. The dashboard will help you analyze and manage the CO2 emissions generated by all projects in your organization. You can see on the dashboard, we list all the projects, their CO2 emissions generated last month, this year, or the total generated by your whole organization. As Philip mentioned, we believe it's important to be open about the methodology, and so I would like to quickly gloss over the methodology of how we calculate the CO2 emissions. Currently, we're only looking at the CO2 emissions generated by the compute backend infrastructure of your projects, and in the future, we'd like to extend this dashboard with average comparisons to an average website in Umbraco Cloud, or we'd also like to extend the dashboard with CO2 emissions generated by different infrastructure components, such as databases, storage, bandwidth, caching, and others. I hope this makes you excited for the future, and if you'd like to learn more about what we're building, come talk to me. And I hope that we can make Umbraco Cloud the best place to host your eco-friendly website. Thank you.
Good stuff. Good work. Yes. Yeah, as Nicolas said, we're depending on the cloud carbon footprint methodology. This is an open source project. You can find it on GitHub. It's under the MIT license, and this is what helps us actually do some of the calculations. We are launching this or making this generally available to all of you later this month. So end of this month, you should be able to see how your projects have been doing and is doing right now. There's a lot of stuff that has happened in cloud in the last year, and I'm really proud of that. So for all of those of you who work on one of the cloud teams or on the new Cloud Community Advisory Board, would you please stand up and let's give them a round of applause, please. Yeah, Emma already showed this, but we are so happy for these teams. They really help us guide us when we make decisions about what cloud should be, and this is true for all of our products. Since last year, we've also added many-to-many relationships in Umbraco UI Builder. So when you have two tables that has that end-to-end relation, you can actually now reflect that for your editors as well in UI Builder. We've added advanced search to Umbraco Workflow. So when you're looking for that specific node that uses a specific property editor or that has a certain property with a certain value or something like that, all of this you can find now very easily with Workflow. In Umbraco Commerce, we've added shipping providers, making it a lot easier to make custom shipping providers and to actually be able to package shipping providers up and put them in the marketplace. And we're really happy to see stuff like Shipmondo to be in the marketplace and super easy to click and just use out of the box with Umbraco Commerce. We've also added product feeds to Commerce, so you can get your products to show up in the nice carousel in the top of the Google search bar when people actually are looking for your products. As well for Commerce, we have the Commerce Advisory Board, and it is so great. This one has been going on for a little longer than the cloud one, and has really helped us guide us in product strategy, product direction. What is the important thing to build? What are you guys actually using? What do you think we need to build? So really a big round of applause for the Commerce Advisory Board as well. We're seeing a very nice growth in the Umbraco marketplace as well. We have more than 385 packages already in the marketplace, meaning that if you try out one new every day, then when we meet each other next year for Codegarden, there'll still be some that you haven't tried. And if the trend is true from this graph, then there'll be an extra 100 or so for Codegarden next year, because this number continues to grow. So we're really, really happy about this, and we think all of this really allows you to build how you want to build, to get started early, to get started easily, and to then, for us to get out of your way so you can do things your way. Talking about what we've been doing since last Codegarden, we've also launched 2 new Umbracos for you. Umbraco 13, the long-term supported version, and of course Umbraco 14 that we just shipped a few weeks ago. But let's start with a few notes about 13 and where we are. This is, of course, as I said, long-term support, meaning the focus now is really on stability. This is for projects that are very large and needs to have very low risk, or for projects that are maybe stale or once off and that or no longer has any development to it. We continue to enhance it with bug fixes, etc. And actually, with 13.4 coming out in a few weeks, we've launched a kind of impressive performance improvement to the back office view. So we do continue to work on these even when there's a new major out there. 13 is built on .NET 8. And it introduces support for the minimal hosting model. And in 13, we also added blocks to the rich text editor. So block is our concept of like a UI component or something like this that holds some kind of content and some kind of configuration, and that lets you use them in different forms. We have the block list, the block grid, and now with 13, we have the blocks also available in the rich text editor when you want to make that little call to action button in the middle of your text or whatever you want to do inside of your rich text editor. But to show you a little bit more about this, if you've missed it, let me invite to the stage Mr. Lee.
Hello. I don't know which one's pressed. Okay. Nope, next. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to be talking about the blocks in the rich text editor. So it was introduced in version 13, but I'm going to show you a demo of 14, because I like to do that. So here we have an Umbraco. I've got to get ahead of myself now. So yes, I've got an Umbraco site where I'm making an article about Codegarden, and I've got some sessions from Codegarden, which we're on today, but I want to show you that I can put blocks inside the RTE, and this was to remove. This is when macros got removed. So we can either do an inline block, or we can do a full width block. So I'll show you how to add this. So we go to our rich text editor configuration, and we add some blocks. So I'll add one for session details, which is going to have a session picker. So I'll make this an inline one, so this will appear within like a paragraph. And then I'll have another one for a panel, which is more of a call to action. So you'll see this in a moment. The last thing with the configuration for the rich text editor is to make sure that you enable the plugin for TinyMCE to have the little button at the top to say insert block, not macro. Okay, so back to the article. So I've got my placeholder, some question marks, but I'd like to insert a session that I'm going to attend a little bit later, which is Jacob's session about Bellissima for version 14. Plug. Yeah, so I add that in, and that will be displayed in line. And then I've got another placeholder for my kind of full width call to action block. So I add this in, again, pick the same session, add this in, and I can save it. So then if I show this on the front end of the website, we can see now that the website has shown that this block has been added in, and it's in line, and it pulls data from the session node itself, and I've got a call to action as well. So that's cool. So now we have structured content within an unstructured document. So to show how that kind of looks under the hood, just to get technical for a moment, if I take the ID of the node and I look at the delivery API, I can show you the underlying data source of that. So using Swagger, I will just grab that. Okay, so now I've got the JSON. I can't see it on here, so I'm going to open it a bit bigger for you. So what we have inside the JSON, and this is the underlying value of the rich text editor now, is that this is separated into two things: the unstructured data, and then the structured data as blocks. So if you were going to, well, if you just use Umbraco's rendering, this is all handled for you. But if you use your own front-end rendering using the delivery API in a headless scenario, then you can deal with this as you need to, and you have structured content as well. So there, blocks in the rich text editor.
Really cool. And nice to close that missing gap for macros, so they can finally go ahead and go to the grave. In 13, we also launched dynamic route as closing the last piece of the XPath alternative, making it a lot easier to make dynamic routes. That was a long day. Go see Bjarke's talk if you want to hear about that. We've also launched webhooks. Webhooks allows you to get callbacks anywhere when stuff happens inside of your CMS, and now there's actually a UI for that. This was a feature that we that initiated in hardcore and is now in the open source product. And this has really further enhanced our headless story. Since headless was launched, we've also in 13 added member authentication for the delivery API, and field limiting and expansion and nesting and stuff. Lots of cool stuff being added to the headless story. We continue to evolve that. And as I said, you can hear a lot more about 13 and 14 in Bjarke and Elitsa's talk, which I believe is actually right after this one, so later today. But of course, we shipped Umbraco 14 just a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago tomorrow. It's available on NuGet. It's of course available in cloud. And you can think of 14 kind of as the first paragraph of the next chapter of Umbraco. This really is an enabling release that allows us to do so much more in the future, and we are so excited about it. Starting with a full management API, next to the delivery API, you can now also manage all of your content with create and update and delete actions across all of the stuff that you could do inside of the back office. So anything you can do from the back office, you can actually now do from a management API as well. And to show you a little bit about that, let's welcome Ken Jacobsen.
Ooh. Right. So I'm a stage helper. I'm supposed to work these things. That'll be good. I'll just click this one. Nope. Then I'll click this one. Yes. So the management API. As Philip says, this powers the entire new back office. So everything you can do there, you can also do with the API. It's a REST API, and it's documented with OpenAPI. And of course, it's available in Swagger, as you probably already saw. The API uses OpenID Connect for authentication. So for one thing, this allows us to test and experiment with the API using Swagger UI or Postman, if that's your thing. But more importantly, it means that we can start using the API to build integrations. With OpenID Connect, any client will be able to consume this API directly. So that means that we'll have full flexibility to choose our tech stack when building and hosting Umbraco integrations. That's pretty cool. Well, speaking of clients, this API has finally been built to be client agnostic. So each operation in the API is atomic and completely self-contained. So it's pretty straightforward to consume it as a client. And of course, it's fully extendable as we're used to. We can build our own management API endpoints, and they'll work seamlessly alongside the core endpoints. There's a lot of docs already on the docs portal to get you started building management APIs.
Excellent. Of course, in 14, we took the liberty of cleaning up quite substantially So a lot of dependencies have been updated, a lot of old dependencies have been removed, and we're really happy with that as well. It really allows us to move faster as we go forward. But of course, 14 is really focused around the new back office. And where with version 9 a few years ago, we modernized everything on the server and got from .NET Framework up to .NET Core and now .NET whatever 8. This is a similar thing that we're doing on the client side. So on the single page app that is the back office, we're doing the similar thing now. So while we are talking about a new back office, we are essentially talking about the same back office. We've just changed everything underneath. And as Lee said, his demo was actually made in 14, and you wouldn't really know if you didn't know where to look at very specifically. This is the same user experience that all of your users love, that is intuitive to use, and now we just have a lot more building blocks to move on. So, of course, why did we do this? This is a massive project. Why did we even want to do this? And of course, let's talk about what the problem is. What problem are we trying to solve? In the old back office, we had an extension API that was quite limited. And then, with the help of all of your creative brains and our own a little bit, we started just hacking away on the implementation to make the back office do whatever we wanted it to do. And you've made amazing things this way. The problem with that is that it's very hard for us to know which parts of the implementation you're actually depending on, meaning it's very hard for us to change anything without breaking your stuff. And we really don't want to break your stuff. We really wanted to get to a place where there was enough extension points for you to only use the official ones and to lock away the implementation so you didn't have to know about how we actually implemented stuff behind the scenes. Of course, we also wanted to get rid of an old, dead JavaScript dependency that's been around for a while, that served us very well for many years, but is now also in the ground, and we're all better off for that. So we made a plan, which we basically had 3 steps. We start out with building a UI library, so we make sure that the user experience remains consistent across. We then define what this extension API should look like before we then, as the third thing, actually build the new implementation. And the reason for doing number 2 before number 3 is really that we wanted to make sure that we made an extension API that was not tied to the actual implementation, so that if we wanted to, we could technically switch the entire implementation and keep the API the same. We're probably not going to do that, but to have that option is really, really helpful for us. We did this along with a back office community team, and we've been really happy for all the feedback that they've been giving us as well, trying out early stuff, helping us with all the requests for comments that we've put out there, and really giving us a lot of feedback. This has been really helpful. So the result is, as I said, the same user experience that we know and love, but built for the future, allowing us to move much quicker, and allowing us to be a platform that you can continue to build on. You can do much more without touching .NET, so much more from JavaScript directly. So for those of you who mainly do JavaScript or who have colleagues who do, you're now able to do much more of back office customizations on your own. And I mean, most projects use a lot of our stuff and a lot of packages, and maybe sometimes do varying degrees of extension and customizations. And we wanted to make this easy for you. So in 14, we've really built this comprehensive extension API. So we've tried to look at lots of packages, lots of use cases out there to actually find out where are all the spots, where are all the things that you would like to extend. And if we've missed some, come talk to us. We're happy to add more. We really want you to be able to build what you want to build and how you want to build inside of the back office as well. So this extension API is built on top of web components, which is a web standard, and then it's built on top of kind of the context API pattern that most of the frameworks out there actually today agree on. So by choosing that approach, we think we will have something that will last for very long and that will be familiar to the modern front-end developer today. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do, but there's not too much that you have to do to be able to build an extension to the back office. And to show you what that would actually look like, for a little longer demo, please give it up for my colleague, Lone.
Hello. Are you guys ready? All right, let's start. All right, so we're going to open up Umbraco 14. And in here, we are going to look at a custom-built property editor. And here it is. It is allowing our content creators to set a filter for an image. And right now, it is configured to change some saturation. So let's take a look at some code. And if we are inside the Umbraco package JSON file, and it is in here, we will declare our property editor. It is of the type property editor UI. And what this means is that it is the UI side of our property editor. And then we also have a schema, which is telling Umbraco what kind of data our property editor have and how Umbraco should save our data to the server. Then we also have a lot of configuration for our property editor. And in this case, it is just 3 different toggles where you can enable and disable different image filters. And then we have the element, which is the path to our UI element. And this UI element must be a web component. So let's take a look at our web component. And in here, a lot of things are happening. But we're just going to talk about some of the important things. So first off is the value of our property editor will be set through the value property. And in here, you can write your own getter methods with your own logic if you want, like I did. And then we have our configuration that we set. To get our configuration, well, our configuration is set in the config property. And to get the value of our configuration, you can write config.getValue by alias, and then the alias as the parameter. So let's take a look at our data type real quick. And in here, you will see our 3 configurations. And I will just turn all 3 on for now. So now that we have our 3 configuration enabled, we can go down in our render method. And down here, we can check, are they enabled? Are they allowed? And if they are, we would like to render them. And if they're not, then we don't render them. So let's take a look again at our UI component. And you can see that now all 3 configurations are turned on. Another important thing is when you change your values in your property editor, we have to let Umbraco know. And you can do this by dispatching an event, and you can do it by a change event. You can write it as a magic string, or you can import the event from the CMS backoffice package. And let's try to just comment out this dispatch event for now and see what happens when you don't dispatch this event. So we have a change, we saved it. Well, first we are updating our page. But yeah, we're doing a change and we save it. And then we reload. And you could see that it did not catch our changes. And this is because the workspace is listening in for this event before it can save the data to the server. So now that we have added the dispatch event back, we can set a change. And this time, our data actually got saved. So that is the important things to do when you make a property editor. And that's all I wanted to show you. Thank you.
Good stuff. I think that's really cool. I've been playing around with it myself, and it is a lot of fun. But of course, there's some new things to learn. And yes, I know new things can be hard. Learning things is always a challenge, and I think we all had, or those of us who've been around for a while, had the same experience when the back office, the original back office was introduced, and we all had to learn what AngularJS was and how that worked and all of this stuff. I promise it is worth it. The developer experience of this is fantastic because we've built everything on top of TypeScript. There's fantastic IDE support, but you still have the flexibility to work in TypeScript like Lone did, or to work in JavaScript directly, or build with whatever framework you like. As long as it ends up as a web component, you're good to go. You can learn a lot more about this, as Lee was teasing for, in Jakob's talk, which I believe is today in the afternoon. And right after that, the whole back office team, or the front end team, does kind of a show, late afternoon back office show that you don't want to miss. And there will be time to answer all of your questions as well. This is going to be very, very cool. And this is truly that first paragraph of the next chapter of Umbraco. Of course, packages are a super important USP for Umbraco. It is how you get started easily. It is how you get that quick return on investment. All of our own packages are in different phases. Of course, Forms and Deploy are already out. Both Workflow and Commerce has release candidates out, and we expect to ship them within the next couple of weeks. And then UI Builder will be finished over the summer. But of course, there's also all of your packages. I mean, our few compared to the 380 whatever something in the marketplace, there's so many packages out there from the community. And to show you where we are with community packages, let's welcome Lottie. Click right.
Hi. Yes, I'm here to talk about community packages in V14. I'm going to work locally, so I use the package scriptwriter tool from Paul Seal, which is a very friendly way to customize your installation parameters. You then get to choose which packages you want to start with. Then you can copy the script that it's generating for you into a terminal window, and with a bit of magic and fast forwarding, you have a working website. Now, the package I always start with is usync from Kevin Jump, which serializes your Umbraco content to disk. Now, in this demo, I am copying some usync files from a V13 site into this V14 site, and I'm going to ask usync to import everything. So press the import button. Here goes usync importing my data types, my templates, doc types, media, content, almost as fast as I can say it. And to prove it, in the content tree, here we go, we have some content. This dashboard is a package from Marcus Johansson called the dashboard that's very helpful for your editors to see the recent activity in the back office, highlighting, for example, nodes that they've saved but not yet published. Richard Sutterman has already updated his member export package that adds this new feature that allows you to export your members to CSV or Excel. Warren Buckley, hi Warren. Warren Buckley has released a new package for V14 called Examine Peak that's going to show you the values in the examine index for the specific node that you're looking at. And finally, we have here a checkbox list driven by a JSON file, courtesy of Contentment's data list property. Lee Kelleher has released an alpha version of Contentment, and whilst it's an alpha, there is this dashboard in the back office, so you can see his progress. So you don't need to ask him all week how the Contentment migration is going. Install the package, and you can see it for yourself. It's a wonderful example of how to work in public. Thanks, Lee.
Thank you. Yeah, really happy to see that lots of packages developers out there are embracing this, and the sentiment I get when I talk to them is really that once they do get over that learning curve, the experience of working with this is just amazing, and it's so much fun, and it lets you do so much more than we used to be able to. In the marketplace, you can now search for packages with V14 support and see which ones are there. And I want to just also give a few mentions to packages like Hangfire, Slimsy, and OpenStreetMaps as some of the popular ones that we know a lot of you use out there and that are also on V14 now. So if you're not yet on 14 with your package, or if you want to learn how to build packages or migrate packages to 14, you should absolutely go to see Andy's talk tomorrow. Andy is the lead for all of our commercial packages, so if anyone knows, he knows what it's like to take big, large packages and get them up on a tight deadline. So make sure to catch Andy's talk or talk to him when you see him around. You helped make 14 happen. As Emma said, we've been seeing lots of code contributions for 14 specifically. So just for the new back office part of this, we've had more than 240 different contributions, being commits to the code, being comments to our RFCs, or finding issues on where we are so far. So thank you to all of you. I think you can see your names up here behind, those of you who are in that list. So thank you so much for helping us make this happen. Yeah. And now that we're already started clapping, I want us to give a large applause for the CMS, the front end and the back office team, and to the DXP team that's been working on all of our commercial packages. So if you're in one of those teams, please stand up, get your much appreciated, much deserved applause. Yeah, so people started asking me, so when should I use this? And I mean, 14 is out. It's a real release. You can start using it today if you want to. It is, of course, always it depends kind of situation. As you may know, we do rolling releases. So we do releases and we keep the older ones supported for longer. And some of them we choose to be long-term supported, and they're supported for even longer than that. So choose wisely, choose whether you want to be in the next chapter, ready for the future, or if you want to opt in for stability and that safety over time. As you can also see on this, 7 is now finally dead. But if you still have projects running on 7, we know that there's still a lot of projects out there on 7. We've actually backported our import-export feature all the way back to Umbraco 7 for Umbraco Deploy. And to learn how you can get your content successfully all the way from a 7 project and to a 14 project technically, you should see Ronald's talk later today, where he shows a very cool demo of this actually working in progress. So lots of cool stuff here. And as you also saw, Umbraco 8 is nearing end of life as well. So at the end of February in 2025, Umbraco 8 is officially out of support as well. So for those of you who have projects on V8, please start thinking about upgrading. Come talk to us about upgrading, talk to each other, learn how to do upgrades, get up to speed so your project won't be left behind. So before we end, I thought we should talk a little bit about the future of Umbraco. So for those of you who attended the Business Summit yesterday, you saw some of this before. And I'm going to make the same disclaimer that I'm not going to make any announcements today. I'm not going to announce any acquisitions or new products or anything like that. Instead, I want to talk a little bit about the direction that we're going. But before that, I want to just talk, of course, that we are intending to continue to scale what we do. Scaling is incredibly important for us. This means we should be able to handle bigger projects in cloud. CMS should be able to handle enormous sites with millions of content nodes faster. We should be able to work better with multiple editors on projects and stuff. There's lots of stuff that we still want to do. And I do want to make a few commitments on that today. Starting with load balancing in Umbraco Cloud as the next thing that the cloud team will work on. So we expect the team to start working on this sometime during Q3 or Q4, and hopefully have something ready for you to start trying out at the end of the year or early next year. Along with that is, of course, also a dedicated SQL. So you can have, along with your dedicated compute project, you can also have a dedicated SQL project. And by popular demand, also being able to bring your own AD into cloud. So for those of you who have big enterprise AD systems or have customers that do that, you will be able to use that as authentication inside of the cloud for the back office and for the cloud portal. To learn all about those three things, you should see Kek's talk later tomorrow, or tomorrow morning, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in that talk as well. We are working on scheduled content with Umbraco Workflow, so it'll be a lot easier to actually plan campaigns to launch at a certain point in time, and then unpublish again at another time. And we also want to improve our story around reusing content. So when you have content blocks that are reused between pages, we want there to be a much better way to do that than the current is. Along with this, as I was saying, sometimes there's multiple editors on a project, and we want to give you a better story around how editors know that other people are working on the same project or on the same page, and maybe even what property they're using on, maybe some kind of collaboration features. These are still kind of vaguely defined, so if you have ideas, now is a good time to make that heard. And of course, along with that, configurable caching, so it's going to be easier for you to configure how you want your caching to be, or how you want all of your nodes to go into memory, so you can have a quicker startup of time of your project, or do it how we do it today. To learn all about this, you should go see Lasse's talk. That is what's coming in 15 and beyond. That is also not a lot of promises, but a lot of talks and ideas around the future of Umbraco. But let me leave you with 4 kind of lighthouses for the future. This is what we see when we look into the distance. We see kind of 4 distinct lighthouses out there that we think will guide the future of Umbraco, that guide us in our steering, in our direction. It doesn't mean that we have to reach all of them at the same time or at a specific time. And it's not about the path yet. We will be. But for now, I just want to introduce kind of 4 pillars, 4 lighthouses that we're looking at. And these 4 are search. We believe search is becoming even more and more important with the rise of AI as well, giving users actually the answer they're looking for, or actually generating the answer they're looking for instead of just helping them or assisting them search. It is personal experiences. We believe that end users out there expect to have experiences that are personalized based on who they are and what they're here for. We think this is going to be super critical as well. Of course, generative AI. It would be a weird tech conference if we didn't talk about AI. We think this is super critical. At the same time, it revolutionizes everything. And at the same time, for us, it kind of doesn't, because we've always been that platform that you build on top of. We are going to be a platform for AI, for you to build AI on top of. But of course, we also have some ideas of places where we can add some intelligence into the CMS and make the editing experience even better. And then ending with orchestration. In the world where all of our projects need more and more data sources, I think the act of actually orchestrating the sources, where's the data coming from, where's the data edited, and doing that not at the expense of the editor, but to the joy of the editor, I think that's a missing piece in today's architecture that we want to be a part of. So with these 4 lighthouses in mind, I am really confident about where we're going. And with all of this, of course, we want to do it with the best editing experience and most loved by devs. Like, this is what guides everything that we do. And we want to do it together with you. So the future is bright. I am very excited to be going there with all of you. And I want to invite you to join us there. Come talk to us, talk to me. All of us who have a pink badge are all of us who work at HQ. So come talk to anyone with a pink badge and tell them what you think about the future of Umbraco, what you think we're missing, and help us guide us in the future. With that, I think, Emma, you're forgetting one thing. So I'll bring it back to you and give it up for Emma.
Thank you. Okay. Officially the coolest part of the keynote. We get to do something really nice now, because something was conspicuously absent from the first part, and that's the Umbraco MVPs, our most valuable people. And we are super excited to welcome 23 brand new Umbraco MVPs this year, all people who have made an extraordinary contribution to the ecosystem in the last 12 months. Now, before we move on to celebrating everybody, I want to let you all know that right after this session, if you're interested in some of that friend making, you're going to go to the theatre and you can check out YouBuddy with your coffee, because it's also a coffee break, and you can start making friends right there. But shall we continue? If you would like to join me on stage, we've got some high fives to hand out. We're going to celebrate. Now, here are the instructions for how we celebrate people. I'm going to call a name. It will be alphabetical. I'm pretty sure it's alphabetical. Yeah. They're going to stand up and come onto the stage, and you're going to start clapping when that happens. And I'd urge you not to stop clapping until name number 23 has been read. Do we understand? Get ready. You can stand for this if you want, but no standing, sitting. The first person we'd like to welcome to the stage for their Umbraco MVP award is Adam. Thank you. Amelia.
Let's go.
Amy. Andrew.
Congrats.
Andy. Dean. Dinesh. Sorry, I'm standing in the wrong place. Georgina.
Congrats.
Jason.
Congratulations.
Jason. Jen.
Congrats.
Jesper. Joe.
Tillykke. Oops.
Johan. John. Matt. Hey, John. Nikhil. Ollie isn't here yet, on the way. Richard. Whoop. Richard can't be with us today, other Richard. Thank you, Richard. Sean Thorne. Get both names when you're Sean Thorne. Terence. Not here today. And Warren.
Last one.
And just a huge thank you to everybody. Here are all of the, I can't read every name. We have over 100 Umbraco MVPs now. A massive thank you to all of our renewed MVPs and all of our brand new MVPs. It's basically time that we celebrate. Your name should be on the screen. Are we ready to say? High five, you rock. 3, 2, 1.
High five, you rock.
Good. More people. Have a wonderful Codegarden. Thank you ever so much.